Let's give everybody a minute to get on here, guys, and we'll get started. Got 3 on. Let's give everybody just a minute to get here, and we'll get going, guys. Got 5. We'll give it just a minute, guys. Six. We're getting there. Hey, Wayne, good to see you, buddy. Chris, you got the Thor? Glad you like it, pal. I'm pretty excited about that call, buddy. Pretty excited about it. A lot of turkeys are going to die to that call this spring. Hey, Dwayne, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Doug. Hey, Hunter, how you doing? Hey, y'all killing your rabbit this morning, Hunter? I seen y'all went. Did y'all do any good? Hey, Cordell, good to see you, pal. Hey, Robbie, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Steve. Good to see you, brother. Hi, Krista. Rob and Krista in the house. Hey, guys. Hey, Rodney, good to see you, pal. Killed one. Hunter, I got to tell you, buddy, rabbit hunting, there's some rainy mornings the scent holds to the ground when rabbit hunting. Man, I've lit them up on some mornings in that rain, so I don't know why some mornings it's hard to get them and others it ain't. But, yeah, I've had really good mornings on rainy mornings. Let's see. Hey, Steve. Hey, Les. Good to see you, pal. All right. We're going to go ahead and get started, and people can filter in as they get here. And if they want to watch it back, of course they can. Hey, Matt. Good to see you, buddy. Not going to be a super long broadcast tonight, but there's some things I wanted to go over this week as we start rolling into turkey season, guys. We are getting close. It is February 13th. So we are basically halfway through February. We've got the rest of this month, and we've got May. Then, guys, here in West Virginia, we are just a couple weeks out from season. So you might as well say 2 months out, right? Half of this month and half of April, all of May. We're 2 months away, guys. Hey, Tommy. Hey, Leonard. Hey, Joseph. Good to see you guys. Anyway, guys, we're rolling in and we're getting close. Turkey season's coming. So this week, what I really wanted to go over with you guys was some common mistakes we're making as we are going out. And guys, I'm gonna tell you something. I make them every year, and these mistakes, they're not just for beginner turkey hunters. Hey, Tony, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Steven. Hey, Eddie, good to see you. Tommy, by the way, guys, Tommy Gross in here. His dad used to drive to work every day with my grandfather years and years ago in the coal mines. Tommy, my aunt sent me some pictures of my grandfather, and I think in one of them there's a picture of your dad in it. Real old pictures of them in their coal mining outfits. But I want to try to get that and send that over to you, buddy, okay? Hey, Robert, good to see you, pal. Hey, Kevin. But, guys, back to what we was talking about. These mistakes we make every year. They're simple things, and a lot of them are following advice we've heard down through the years when it's thinking on these issues has changed over the years. Hey, Eddie. Hey, Joseph. So, I'm going to get started, and we're going to go over these. Oh, guys, don't forget, I'm giving away a Thor mouth call at the end of this today. I'm going to start giving calls away every week just as a thank you for joining in and talking with me, okay, guys? Hey, David. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mark. Good to see you, buddy. So, let's start going over some of these mistakes and having a conversation about them, okay? And I don't have my run and gun hat on this week, guys. The reason I wore this with my little hole here, my old hat, guys, I wore this hat when I was a 19-year-old man and killed my first turkey wearing this hat. It is I guess you call it a good luck charm, but I've carried this hat in the woods on my head for, gosh, man, I hate to age myself. It's been so long. I was 19 years old and I turned 49 this year. So for 30 years, I've been carrying this hat in the woods. So, anyway, it's just my good luck charm, you know. It's faded, it's beat up. I've went through I don't know how many briar patches with it, but that's my good luck charm, fellas and ladies. Sorry. Okay, so let's start going through some of these turkey hunting mistakes, guys. One of the first things we do. Hey, Carl, good to see you, buddy. One of the first things we do is we give up on a busted gobbler, and what I mean by that is we'll be trying to move in to get close to that gobbler. Either he's on the ground or sometimes even on the roost. And as we're getting in on him, if we bust him, we see that white head bobbing off or see him fly off, we throw our hands up and, you know, well, that hunt's screwed up, and we give up. Guys, a lot of times that gobbler's not going to be as vocal as he was when he was coming in, but that turkey's still there. He's still trying to breed. You're right, Dwayne, and we're going to go over that. Hey Gary, good to see you, buddy. But yeah, let's talk about it a second. Say you go in the woods and there's a gobbler with a hen and you want to move in on him. You got too close anyway and busted him up. What do? Guys, a lot of us hunt limited areas of property where we can't just run and gun all day, hammer, trying to get on another gobbler that is willing to work with us. So what do? Do we give up and go home? No. That gobbler's still going to want to breed. The best thing you can do for yourself if you're trying to harvest that turkey, pay attention to the way he flew off or he ran. Give him a little bit and move that way a couple hundred yards. Don't call. Move that way a couple hundred yards and just set up. Listen. When you move that way a couple hundred yards and you get set up, listen. A lot of times them gobblers will start out not even gobbling. They'll start out yelping, almost like a hen. But a gobbler's got a raspy, slow yelp. So instead of the yelp, a gobbler's real slow and raspy. It's You'll notice the difference in the cadence and the sound when a gobbler's yelping. But they're still going to try to get together with those hens. So you move that way. He's busted up from his hens now a lot of times, guys. He's going to get desperate. Go set up. Don't go sit toward him a couple hundred yards and start pounding calls again. He's going to know if he's spooked, that hen should be spooked. You shouldn't be making all that kind of noise. So like I said, go that way a couple hundred yards, set up and listen. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that, pal. Yeah, patience is extremely important when it comes to turkey hunting. That's a fact. But yeah, you just go and set up and listen, guys. I usually give them about an hour, and then I'll start light calling. And what I mean by light calling is just a few assembly yelps, 10 to 12 yelps, or a lost hen yelp, and then shut up. Don't be cutting trying to get him to fire off either, guys. That gobbler's been on alert. You want to get his confidence that you're a hen. Act like a hen would act. Don't get desperate for him to gobble. Act just like a hen would act. Go that way. Give him about an hour. Assembly yelp. And pay attention. Guys, a lot of times them turkeys will come in and they won't make a sound until they get real close. And they'll get comfortable. And then when they get close, they can't take it and he'll fire off. And man, as soon as he fires off, a lot of times when you've busted him and called him back in, when he fires off, you'll kill him within a couple minutes because they're coming. Yep. Dwayne, that's right. A lot of times just a single cluck. Just let him know you're there. Yep, absolutely. Another thing we do, guys, if we're not going to, say they go down and they go over a rock cliff when we bust them, or they go over on another hunter's piece of property that we can't hunt. Guys, I don't know how many times, and I do it. So please don't take it as I'm saying, I always do things right and I don't learn from my own mistakes, okay? Leave your hunting area quietly. Like when you're deer hunting. Get up, instead of jerking that face mask down and being real loud and carrying on. Guys, you're just educating them turkeys, and they're not going to sit there and process, well, he was up there carrying on, but they are going to be uncomfortable in that area, and it's going to make it harder to call them back into that area the more you give him a reason not to visit where you're at right now. So get up, ease back out of the woods if you bust them turkeys. If you're not able to go the direction they went, ease back out. Be quiet. Use your woodsmanship skills. This is what our dads and our granddads and some of us, our moms taught us to hunt. Be smart about it, okay? Ease back out. Let's see. Hey, Carl, I can't wait to go either, pal. I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it. All right. We talk about how hard it is, and most of you guys who have turkey hunted very long know it's almost impossible to call a turkey downhill. It's tough. But guys, sometimes you do not have an option but to set up and try. That happens sometimes. You're just caught in a bad situation and your only option is to try to call him downhill. When you run into that situation, how do we kind of stack the odds in our favor? When a turkey's up on top of the hill, he can see way to the left, way to the right, and straight below him. He can see a long ways. So we want to make his eyes deceiving. So when we got to try to call one downhill, guys, before you ever hit that call, before you ever try to fire that gobbler up, if you have decoys, get your decoys out. Get set up. Call. When you get set up and start calling, give him something to look at. When he steps to the edge of the hill and he's strutting and he's carrying on and he's putting on his show for the hen, have the decoys there. Let them do most of the work for you. You call, let him know you're there. When he hammers, don't keep hammering back at him. Don't keep hammering back at him. If you keep hammering, he's going to stand right there on the edge of the hill and strut and carry on and wait on you. Make him look. It doesn't always work, but it does help. They'll come over the edge of the hill sometimes, see that Jake decoy, see one or two hens with that Jake decoy, and he'll break strut and march right down that hill. I've killed quite a few birds that have come straight downhill because they saw my decoys. Guys, a lot of y'all ask, do decoys work? Not every time, but the call you're using doesn't work every time. Your setup doesn't work every time. So don't be afraid to use decoys, but you just need to use them to where they are a tool to help you harvest the turkey. So use them properly. Guys, don't try to set right on top of your decoys. You don't want that turkey to see you moving your gun barrel when you're 10 yards from your decoy. Set him out there 20, 25 yards. Give him something to focus on where he's not focused on you. Carl said he can't wait to go. I just hope I don't make the same mistake like I did last year on the message. Carl, buddy, mistakes happen, pal. We all make them. I make them every year. Every single year I mess up a turkey, it seems like. It just happens, guys. And it's going to happen to you. Joseph said he killed one, and about an hour after missing him, he had hens. They all busted, so we went across the hill and called him back in. Yup. Hey, Robert, good to see you, pal. Good to see you, buddy. Guys, I want to tell you, what Joseph was talking about, calling them back in after busting them and the hens. Guys, I was with a real good friend of mine. And, man, it's been 15 years ago. It's been a long time ago. But anyhow, it was the very last day of turkey season. The very last day. And we had a turkey gobble. And, sorry, guys. I'm on my phone and somebody keeps calling in, so it paused my broadcast. I apologize about that. Hey, Alan, good to see you, buddy. But, it's the last day of turkey season, very last day. And that turkey gobbled one time. We went and set up on him. And we busted him. He flew down the hill. We gave him about 45 minutes. I never thought we'd even hear from that turkey again. It's the last day of season. You think they're going to quit gobbling. This is it. We messed it up. We moved his direction and set up. We didn't have nothing else going on, like I said. Again, last day of season. We called, and we no sooner called and we heard a cluck. And then we started hearing gobbler yelping. And that gobbler came all the way in from like 50 yards, easing, real slow. He took his time coming in, but just ow, 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 ow. Just a little bit, we seen that white head bobbing, looking through that. At that time, last day of season, man, it done got really green. And through that underbrush, we seen that white head bobbing. And he came in, standing right in front of us, came all the way in yelping. He gobbled one time way off, and he never gobbled after we bumped him. But he killed that gobbler. He came in yelping. So just know what to look for if you bump a gobbler. Give him an hour. Move that way a couple hundred yards, set up, and start out calling easy, guys. You don't have to give up on that turkey. That turkey, a lot of times, is still killable. Hey, Alan. Hey, Zach. Good to see you guys. Let's see. All right, another thing. You can't call another myth. You can't call a gobbler away from hens. Guys, a gobbler most of the time is not going to leave a live hen for the sound of somebody. I don't care if you're a world champion turkey caller and you get on stage and you throw your elbows out and strut around and sound amazing. Most time you're not going to call a gobbler away from hens. If he's got hens he can see that are willing to breed, you're just not. It's not going to happen. So your odds are, you often try to call those hens out in instead of trying to call him in and get them hens fired up. But there's a but, an exception to this. 2-year-old gobblers. Guys, a lot of times you've got your boss gobbler and he's got these hens around him, and you've got these satellite birds, these little 2-year-old birds, excuse me, and they stay on the periphery of the flock and they look for a chance to breed a hen. Guys, a lot of the time you can call one of those satellite gobblers in, and that big gobbler will still be down there with his hens. So just because you hear a gobbler with hens, don't mean you're not going to be successful. Pay attention. Those satellite gobblers a lot of times will come in and never make a sound. They'll be right on top of you. And I've called them in, and the first thing I heard was a spitting drum right on top of me, guys, when they start that. So just pay close attention, okay? Those satellite gobblers, a lot of times, like I said, you can call them in, and you don't even realize they're coming. So just pay attention, because they will leave that flock. If they think there's a hen up there, they can slip in and breed, and that boss gobbler isn't going to give them a whooping. Okay? Carl said, hey, when you have time, can I see how much Yeah, Carl, we'll talk about it. That's fine. Just message me after, buddy. Yeah, Robert, that's right, buddy. Calling them hens in. If you're trying to call that boss gobbler in, try to fire that hen up. Guys, the best thing I've found, too, to firing that hen up is aggressive purring and clucking. Get her fired up, and then throw in some real aggressive yelps. And then, once she answers you, mimic everything she does. Every call she makes, you copy it and throw it right back at her. Fires them up, guys. I've called in so many hens by just mirroring everything they do. Every call they make, I do the exact same thing. Cadence, series of yelps, whatever, I throw the exact same thing right back at them. And it works, guys. Hey, Zach, good to see you, brother. I appreciate you joining in, pal. All right. Let's see. Guys, another mistake. Man, one of the top mistakes that we can talk about this week. Calling before you're ready to set down and get set up. Guys, how many times have you been walking through the woods trying to locate a gobbler, and we put a mouth call in and called? Bam, right there on top of you, and the next thing you know, before you have a chance to even set up, that turkey's looking at you. Hunt over. How many times has that happened to us? It's happened to me a lot. A lot. Don't call before you're ready. Guys, when we're locating turkeys, man, an old raspy owl call works every bit as good and probably better a lot of times than pulling out a box call or a hen call, getting him to gobble at you. If you call to that gobbler and he's, let's give an example. You call to that gobbler and he's 300 yards away and he hammers when you use that turkey call to get him to gobble. Like, holy cow, there he is. There's a gobbler. Let's get set up. So you move toward him, try to cut the distance to where you can get him to come in and him not get hung up on anything. Let's say you only close 75 yards. Guys, them turkeys can close distance quick, and they can see a long ways. So that 75 yards you closed, let's say he closed 100. Guys, that's 175 yards right there of that distance. So that leaves 125 yards between you and that gobbler where he's originally at. Trust me. Trust me. If there's a clear line of sight, that gobbler can see you easily. At 125 yards, getting set up. Why'd he go quiet? He must have had hens. No. Guys, I mean, that's possible, but a lot of the time, we called, he came our direction very quickly, and he busted us without making a sound as we was trying to get set up. Don't call before you're ready to set down and put your back against a tree. I'm telling you. I can't tell you mess so many hunts up by crowding those gobblers. Let's see. Yep, Dwayne, let them hens don't cut in. That don't hurt either. That's right, buddy. Robert says, on our Kansas farm, we have a Tom that I've now for a couple years. He has a full fan, but has no beard at all. Robert, buddy, there's a thing called beard rot. It could be that. Or, I've seen where biologists talk about them breaking them off if it's been through a bad winter. Not sure why he wouldn't have a beard at all, other than maybe one of those two things. I will tell you, and I'm going to tell myself here a little bit, guys. In the West Virginia regulations, it says bearded turkey. Bearded turkey. When I was 19, the second bird I ever killed, I shot it in the chest. I missed the head. I was tore up. I was nervous. I killed him, but I shot him right there, point blank in the chest at 15 yards. Blew his beard plumb off of him. He didn't have a beard at all when I got to him. Hey, you want to talk about funny. Think about a 19-year-old kid out there gathering beard hairs laying on the ground so he could show people his turkey had a beard. I blasted him right in the chest and blew his beard plumb off of him. Facts. Mark said, how many times, Mark says, how many times have we had them bust us? A lot of times, Mark. Hey, Mark, growing pains, buddy. Me and you grew up hunting them suckers together. Growing pains. We've been through a lot of them. And guys, again, these seminars we're doing here, these podcasts, whatever you want to call them, it's just to help you cut down on the learning curve that I had to go through, Mark had to go through. Our fathers didn't turkey hunt. Me and Mark went through this teaching ourselves almost everything because there was no literature hardly out there on it when we came up, and there was very few people turkey hunting. So all these lessons and all these tips I'm giving you guys, it's from Heartbreaking Mornings. So most of these tips I'm giving you, I can laugh about it now, but it comes from mornings leaving the woods with heartbreak. That hard lessons. Dwayne says one of the best I killed had a knot for a beard, but no hairs coming out of it. But he had an inch and 3/4 spur. Yeah, that's a good bird, Dwayne. That's a good bird, buddy. Hi, Anita. Hi, Jackie. How are you? Let's see. Krista says the West Virginia bird she killed last year had 1 1/4 inch spurs and only a 4 to 5 inch beard. Looked like it was broken off. Hey, I'll tell you, if you look for beard rot, if you want to know that's what it was, Krista, look out toward the end of the beard where if it's a short beard, look toward the end of it, and the hairs in the beard will actually have an amber color. The beard will be a lot of times will be red toward the end of the beard or an amber color. That is a clear indication that turkey has had what they call beard rot. And, I could look it up and tell you all what causes beard rot. Top of my head, I don't know what causes it. I just know that it will eat a turkey's beard up. And it turns it amber or red out toward the end. Hey, Paul, good to see you, buddy. He has nothing. Not even a heel. Caught him in a couple of times within 10 yards. Wow. Robert, I guess, you got the collar phase turkeys, Robert, and you got the turkeys with the solid white wings that are absolutely beautiful. I love those. I guess it's just a genetic anomaly. If he doesn't even have the nub where the beard should come out, it's probably just a genetic defect, buddy. Let's say, Robert said, I've killed them with beard rot. They have brownings. Yeah, that's what I'm calling, Robert. That amber collar, That it's an amberish, brownish collar on those beard hairs. Rob said he's seen a gobbler with 1 inch and 5/8 spurs and 0 beard. Wow. Pulled the bird apart and it had nothing. Hey, Rob, was that a West Virginia turkey or where was that at, pal? I'd be curious to hear about that. Hey, Gary, good to see you, buddy. Robert Morgan said he killed one with a bump and 1/8. So apparently, guys, this is a more common occurrence of them not having a beard than you'd think. Robert said he killed one with a bump for a beard, but it had 1 inch and 1/8 spurs. Wow. Chris says some mistakes he's made. Hold on. My news feed keeps scrolling fast. Some of the mistakes you made you had to live with. Thinking a gobbler sounds farther off than it really is. Yeah, buddy. Yep. Guys, when it starts getting green, those gobbles don't carry through the woods like they do the first of spring. You got to remember, once that foliage starts filling in, it's going to change how far away a gobbler actually sounds. I can't tell you how many times we've thought we had extra room, Mark. Ain't that right, Mark? How many times do we think we had extra room and moved in and got busted because we was just dead wrong and didn't take into account that the season was changing, leaves filled out, and it muffles the sound. That gobble doesn't carry as far. So moved right in on them. Hey, Stephen, good to see you, pal. Kansas. Rob, I'm going out. If this COVID thing, me and Robert has been trying to plan a hunt now for 2 years. It'll be 3 years next year. If this COVID thing gets under control next spring, I'm going to Kansas, buddy. I am going to Kansas. I want to go so bad I can't stand it. Had pink spurs. Wow. That's crazy, buddy. Pink spurs. Leaving too soon, Dwayne? Yeah, and that's what I was going to go over next, guys. If that gobbler shuts up and you haven't heard him gobble for 5 minutes, sorry about that, guys. If that gobbler shuts up and you haven't heard him gobble for about 5 minutes, how many of us said, well, I guess he's got hens and stood up and went on looking for another one? Maybe he hasn't gobbled for 10 minutes. We talked about this before, but I'm going to touch on it again, guys. He maybe did leave with hens. But a lot of times when that gobbler shuts up, he has had all he can take and he has decided he's coming in. So he's broke strut and he's headed your way. Give that turkey time. Give that turkey time. But I'm going to tell you, when he's answering you, shut up. That's the best thing you can do is shut up. Because I've got a daggone hair on the end of my hat there driving me nuts. I got it. Shut up, guys. Let that turkey come into you. If you keep him gobbling, and guys, I talk about this a lot, but it's probably the biggest mistake turkey hunters make is over calling to your birds. Stop over calling your turkey. And we'll say it again. Stop over calling your turkey. When you call and that bird answers you, guys, let him come looking for you. That's what happens in nature as he goes to the ends. Stop hammering him. If you keep him gobbling, the odds of a hen coming into him go up exponentially, okay? Stop calling to that turkey. Let him work his way into you. Give him time. A lot of times you'll stop calling, he'll stay right there and gobble. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, hammering. Let him gobble. Just shut up. Eventually, a lot of the time that turkey stops. He shuts it down. He quits gobbling. And instead of getting discouraged, guys, this is the time to get encouraged because he's made a decision. He's made a decision most of the time. And a lot of the times he makes that decision is to go find that hen that he liked the sound of. Sit still. After his last gobble, give him at least 10 minutes before you call again. Give him at least 10 minutes before you call again. I can't tell you how many times when I've done that, with my next call, that bird is within 50, 60 yards of me looking for me. Be ready, because when he does that, guys, he's coming hot and heavy. That bird, once they get to that point, they've had all they can stand. What Popeye used to say, I've had all I can stand, and I can't stand no more. Well, that's exactly what that turkey's done. He's had all he can take. All right. Let's see. Hey, Jerry, good to see you, buddy. Zach said one of his biggest problems was to rush in and try to get closer. Now he's learned to slow down a little bit and call. Yeah. Don't overrun those turkeys, guys. Let them come to you. They see so good. I've had turkeys bust me and I've had to go back home and think, what could he have seen? Small movement. Guys, if you're using a glass call, or especially an aluminum call, a friction call, make sure that glass stays turned toward you and keep your hand over the back of that call. If you got a high glass wood call, guys, reflections, anything. I mean, their eyesight is crazy. So just think about things and pay attention to how you set up. I talked about this on a podcast last year. When you get set down, before you call to that bird, take a minute and just look at everything around you and make sure you're set up correctly before you call out to that turkey. I've got a video on YouTube right now where I sat down on a gobbler hammering, put my gun on my knee. I'm trying to film myself. I put the camera out to the right of me, hit record. I call, ball, he's right there, okay? And I'm watching, and I'm calling, and he's coming, and man, I'm going to kill this turkey. 30 yards, he pops up, strutting behind a tree, comes out to the left. I lay my face down on my gun, getting ready to kill this turkey. And I didn't pay attention when I sat down, and my gunsling is wrapped around the barrel of my gun, and I cannot see my sights. I was worried about that silly camera and calling that bird in, and I didn't pay attention to my setup, and that bird's standing there looking at me at 30 yards, and I can't see my sights at all because my gunsling's wrapped around my barrel. Heartbreaking lessons, guys. Heartbreaking lessons that you go through. Pay attention. When you sit down, just pay attention, make sure everything's set up. Because when that gobbler's standing looking at you, you don't have time to make adjustments in. All right, let's see. Zach says the sound of a call can throw you sometimes, and you'll be right on top of them. That's a fact. Hi, Destiny. Good to see you. Hey, Chris. Johnny said, so much fun playing with your call. Johnny, I'm the world's worst for wanting to play with the call and get them to gobble at me. And guys, I know better, and I still screw up and call too much sometimes. And I know better, but I'm like a big kid when it comes to turkey hunting. Listening to them gobble and carry on, hey, it runs all over me. It runs all over me. So I'm the world's worst at messing up. So I get it. Yeah, right, Mark. That's right, Mark. That gobbler expects that hen to come to him, guys. That's what they do in nature. The hen goes to the gobbler. The reason they strut is to put on a display of dominance, and I'm a good breeder. So they strut. The hen picks, she looks at him gobbler strutting and gobbling, and she chooses her mate. So she's going to go to him. So just keep that in mind. Set yourself up. Don't overcall. You've got to make him go against what's in his nature. And his nature is to set up and strut and let that hen come to him. You got to make him go against what is natural to him. Robert said he called and had one gobble and then shut up. Yeah, Robert, I've had that happen too, buddy. I've had that happen too. How many guys in here, and we talked about this a little bit last week even, how many times have you called and that bird that you didn't think was coming in, or that bird shut up either way, and he's like, well, he ain't going to come in, I'm going to have to reset up or even move on to another gobbler, and you go around the ridge and call, and that gobbler's right there where you was just set up at. Happens all the time, guys. Yep. Had that happen to me too, buddy. Yeah, Mark. Guys, when you shut up and give that gobbler time to come in and find you, okay, he's answering you and you know it, and he finally shut up. When you do call again, Mark Shepard's exactly right. Don't pound him with calls when you've waited 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Call soft. A lot of times, like I said, that bird's going to be right on top of you. Don't blow him up out of his seat. Just a few little 3 or 4 note yelp. Listen, you can always ramp it up slowly. It's hard to tone it down from an excited hen to a not excited hen. Make him look for you. Chris says, I've talked to some guys, say they just don't know how people kill those dumb birds. Guys, turkeys are not stupid. That's an old wives' tale, guys. That's an old wives' tale. Turkeys are not stupid. They're amazing survivalists. So when you speak to someone who talks about stupid turkeys and things of that nature, guys, in one ear and out the other. If you want to spend your time trying to educate them, that's fine. But I want to promote the sport. But if they're never going to hunt, it's kind of like trying to talk politics with someone. You're just wasting your time. People's minds are made up. There's no sense sitting and having a big, long debate. I just don't have the patience for it. Now, if somebody's interested in turkey hunting, I absolutely want to educate them. But I'm not going to sit and try to convince somebody of something they're not going to believe anyway. So I don't even pay them no attention, Chris. Let's see. Hi, Tyler. Hey, Anna. Hey, Derek, let's say, Jerry, you got that right. I don't care how long you've turkey hunted or how good you are. Them suckers are going to take you to school sometimes. That's a fact. Robert said a lot of hunters don't get it when the bird gobbles. It makes a difference in which way they're facing. Yep. Yep. And guys, and that goes back to thinking they're farther away and crowding them birds out, guys. That bird may be facing away from you. He may be down on a hill. The hardest thing for me, guys, I'll tell you what I struggle with the most when it comes to moving in on a gobbler. I live here in southern West Virginia. Man, we got these big mountains, big old hills. And it is hard a lot of times to determine if that turkey is down at the bottom of the hill, below you, or if he's on the other side. You got these two steep ridges facing each other, and it is often hard to tell if he's down in the bottom or on the face of the hill across from you. That's tough, guys. And I've spent, I can't tell you how many mornings calling to a turkey on the ridge across from me, thinking he was down the hill from me, and that bird's never going to cross that road down there. I mean, they can sometimes, but not usually. Yep, that's right, Zach. You're at Spitting Drum. They've moved right in on top of you. Yep. Robbie said, can gobbling at a bird scare him off or fire him up? You know, and Robert would probably be able to speak to this better than I do, Robbie, because I haven't done a lot of hunting in the fields out west and all, where they, you know, they got these huge farmlands, and I know they do that turkey reaping and all kinds of stuff like that, and I've seen them gobble and call turkeys in from 300 or 400 yards away. As a rule, I usually don't do it just because I've not had a lot of luck with it. I've had them, I've seen video. I remember when I first started turkey hunting, when the Drury boys had mad turkey calls, they used to do turkey hunting videos, and they used to gobble at those turkeys and have luck with them things breaking strut way out there like satellite birds that come running in. So I know I've seen it on film working. I've just never had no luck with it, so I usually don't gobble. I can't wait either, Robert. I'm looking forward to it, buddy. Chris says, I remember the first time I ever called a gobbler in. Looked like a 55-gallon barrel. Looked like a 55-gallon barrel coming in. Had your heart pumping and killed it, and you was hooked for life. Absolutely. Chris, if that doesn't get your blood boiling, them gobblers coming in, shaking you up out of your seat all blown up, ain't nothing else like it. It tears me all to pieces. Les says, one of the biggest mistakes I see here in Texas is people not hunting midday. I've killed a couple of my biggest birds. Les, ain't that the truth? Guys, I've killed 3/4 of my birds after 10 o'clock. You're right, Les. You hear a lot of gobbling off the roost. A lot of gobbling off the roost. And then they get with their hens or they go down the water. As far as killing goes, 3/4 of my birds, shoot, it may be higher than that. But the majority of my turkeys I've killed have been 10 o'clock or later. You're exactly right, Les. Robert said he's never had luck with gobbling either. I hear you, pal. Yep, Robert after 10. Let's see. Another mistake, guys. Staying home when the weather's bad. Guys, them turkeys are still out there, and they may not be as vocal, but the loudest turkeys, The most vocal turkeys I've ever heard is when you got a front moving out, and it doesn't happen every time, but turkey hunting, like anything, there is no every time. But a lot of the times, guys, you have a rainy morning where it's just drizzling. I'm not going out in a thunderstorm, but I'll go out once it stops. But if you got a morning where it's just drizzling rain, when that stops, and it does a lot of the time, if and when that stops, guys, for some reason, them turkeys lose their ever-loving minds. Well, I mean, I know why. They're breeding, and that gives them a chance to gather hens up. And when you got a cold, rainy morning, them hens are worried about being on their nest with their eggs. They're trying to keep them eggs warm. So if you can fire a gobbler up at 10 o'clock, when that rain has moved out, shoot, that gobbler, you got a great chance of killing that turkey. So them rainy mornings, guys, don't stay home just because it rained that morning. They may not gobble up until it quits. You may only get an hour, 11 to noon here in West Virginia. You got to quit at noon. Guys, take advantage of it. That can be a magic time to be in the turkey woods. A magic time. Rob said he had success in West Virginia gobbling at birds that won't budge. Use a box call to gobble with. I hear you, Rob. Say, well, Robbie, there's somebody that says they're having success with it. It's just something I've never done. And I can gobble on a mouth call pretty well. But I've just never used it as a call myself. But Rob says he's had good luck with it. Let's see. All right, guys. Here's a good one. Now, a lot of guys wear the face makeup and don't have to worry about it. But carry you an extra set of gloves and carry you an extra face mask in your turkey vest. Easy thing to make sure you do. It's like carrying your toilet paper. Guys, carry an extra set of gloves and carry a face mask. I cannot tell you how many times I've sat down against a tree calling to a turkey, took my glove off to either put my mouth call in or take it out, and ended up getting up and moving and dropping one of my gloves or dropping my face mask. Always carry you an extra set of gloves and a face mask. They take up hardly any room at all in your vest, and you've always got some on you. Always carry you an extra set. Hey, Rich, good to see you, buddy. In late season, using gobble call works great. It does. Okay, Jerry. Gary says using a gobble call late in season works. Chris says just don't ever give up. I went one time in a holler and heard a lot of gobblers, but it sounded like a war from shooting in there. But I kept going the next few days in there, even with high hunting pressure. They're still. And you tagged out that cool deal, Chris. Yep. And one last thing, guys, I want to go over, and then we're going to do that call drawing. Guys, calling too much. I love to hear a turkey gobble. I love to call to them. I love to fire them up. Just keep in mind when you're in the woods, whether they're answering you or not, you're locating if you're blind calling, whatever you're doing. Keep in mind that you're trying to mimic a hen. Mimicking a hen is not just trying to sound like the hen, the vocalizations a hen makes, doing the same cadence and all that. You want to sound like a hen, yes, but you want to act like a hen acts as well. Don't overcall. Lost hen yelp, 7 to 10 notes. Listen, because that's what that hen's going to do. She's going to listen. So don't overcall, guys. Joseph says he loves hunting when it's thundering. Really gets them gobbling as long as it's not pouring the rain and windy. Yep. Zach says that's true. Got a lot of birds on my way back out of the woods around noon. Yeah. Late morning gobblers, guys. I kill the majority of my gobblers after 10 o'clock. That's exactly right. All right, guys. It's a 45-minute video already. Man, this thing went quick. I was thinking we was going to do a 20-minute video tonight, and this thing, we're 45 minutes in. It's having a good time. All right, let's do this call giveaway. Guys, I'm working on getting us some special guests in here on these broadcasts to talk turkey hunting, so we're going to be working on that. So we got some real good content coming toward you guys as well. Robert said he called a few times in the morning. Sun up, never heard a gobble after sun up. 30 minutes later, strutter's in bow range. Yeah, buddy. Yep. Guys, I took my oldest brother out, and I may have told this story before on his first turkey hunt. I had just drove 14 hours back from Missouri. I was exhausted. Man, I'm taking my brother hunting, and he'd never killed a turkey. So I get back to West Virginia. We get up on top of a ridge. Beautiful sunny morning. Not one gobble. Nothing. Not one gobble. Well, I'm exhausted. So we sat on the end of a ridge, right on a point, this huge, massive oak tree. We're sitting shoulder to shoulder against it. Big oak tree. And that sun's coming up right in my face. And I'm tired. And it's about got me to sleep. I'm calling every now and then. Not calling a lot. I'm tired. But I'm just out there with my brother. As tired as I was, and that warm sun in my face about to put me to sleep, I heard something. I don't know if it was a twig. Something caught my attention. And I looked over my shoulder, guys, and there was 4 big longbeards standing right behind the tree me and my brother was sitting against. Right behind us. Came in quiet as they could be. Right dead behind us. 15 yards. So I looked over at my brother real slowly and he said, "Don't move. There's a bunch of big gobblers right behind us." He told me I was full of crap. I called. They came in and didn't make a sound. But when they got that close and I called, I didn't even get my Yelp series out. I started, I think I was 1 or 2 notes in, just started. Baw! 15 yards behind us. You want to talk about blowing you up out of your seat? You got 4 big gobblers standing behind you on the other side of the tree, and they blow up? Shoot. Anyhow, they busted us, and we didn't get one of them. But it was a great hunt anyway. I'll always be fond of that hunt, even though we didn't get one. It was a pretty awesome hunt. Great lessons learned. All right, guys, I'm getting ready to do this giveaway, so give me just a second to get this randomizer pulled up. Now, what I'm giving away today is our new Thor mouth call. Oh, Krista, you talk about waking me up. My heart. For those, I know most of you guys have already turkey hunted, but you remember those birds you get on and they blow up and it's so loud that you feel your heartbeat in your throat? I felt my heartbeat in my throat. That's a fact. All right, let's see. There it is, there it is, there it is. Yep. Okay, guys, I'm hitting enter just right now. Everybody locked in? There's 22 of us in here. No, Jeff, you didn't miss. I ain't done it yet. But I did hit enter. Number 11, Austin Lip Trap. You want a Thor mouth call? If you can message me your address, I'll get that right out to you Monday, guys. But we're going to be doing little things like that all along. We're going to have, like I said, I'm working on getting a special guest. We're going to do some joint broadcasts. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this, guys. Turkey season's coming in. We're going to have a blast. So yeah, we're doing these every week. Again, keep up the topics. This one came in to me last week. They wanted me to go over turkey hunting mistakes. And guys, we're going to go over, this ain't the last time we're going to talk about them. We're going to go over turkey hunting mistakes a lot. So yeah, we're going to continue to do that. Austin, congratulations, buddy. So like I said, just message me and we'll get you your Thor mouth call sent out to you. Really good job. Let's see. You have, Robbie. You've been there with me. Rob, I can't wait till this spring, pal. We're going at them hard, buddy. All right, guys. It is 8:50. We've been on here 50 minutes. Looking forward to next Saturday. If you guys need me for anything, make sure to message me and hit me up. And have a wonderful evening. I'm going to give you your evening back. Austin, make sure you message me. Hey, Rich, good to see you, pal. But God bless you guys, and we'll see you next Saturday.